I'm pleased to be joined by Michigan running back Blake Corum. Blake, how you doing?
I'm blessed, man. I'm feeling great.
You look great. You look amazing. Now, I need to describe for the podcast listeners what this fit is. So you have on a blue jacket, but it looks like it's velour with black lapels. Yeah?
Yes, sir. It's velvet. Yeah, it's blue velvet. You got black, then you got the BC2 on the inside. You always gotta have the brand on you. That's the fit. That's my fit for the day.
Man, and that watch looks nice. The chains around your neck look nice. You look like a man that should have been invited to the Heisman ceremony last year. I got to ask, how you feel about that? You put together the season you had and didn't get an invitation.
Hey, man, it's all God's plan. I'm glad my boy Caleb won it. Being from the DMV, we used to train together. So I'm glad Caleb won it.
Class move from you, but I also need to ask, dog, what are you doing playing college football this year, in that it feels like you'd have been a first-round draft pick if you wanted to come out in 23?
Yeah, I had an unfinished business. For me, it's bigger. It's a bigger picture, right? And so, after I got injured, I'm going back and forth. Like, should I declare? Should I come back? Should I declare? Should I come back? And my final decision was to come back and for that unfinished business. And that unfinished business was, how do I want to be remembered? Do I want to be a legend, or do I want to be remembered as someone that, left the big house? His last game, he got injured. And he never returned, So, for me, we have a lot of great guys coming back, a lot of my guys coming back. And, we're on a mission. We're on a mission to accomplish our goals. I had to come back and get my degree, so I got that. And then, I'm in the community still, so all those things put together, was enough to keep me here for one more year and still accomplish my dreams next year.
Sounds like a Michigan man to me. That's how y'all talk about it. That's how y'all be about it.
Yes, sir.
I'm interested, when you say unfinished business, is it as simple as winning those last 2 games of the year?
You could say that, but you also, unfinished business means, winning our rivalry games, winning that Big Ten championship game, and then after that, everything's going to take care of itself. We got to find a way to get over that hump. We've been there twice, but we lost twice. And so, now, we got to bring the team together and see what we need to fix and finish the business. So you could say that, those last 2 games, but really it starts from that first game against ECU. And so, after that first game, everything else, week to week. And at the end of the season, we'll look back and be like, hey, look what we did. But we just got to be where our feet are right now.
When did you know that J.J. McCarthy had what it took to lead y'all not just past Ohio State, but to a Big Ten championship?
I mean, I knew he had what it took, from the first time he started. I know what J.J. was capable of. I've seen it. I saw it in practice. It just took some of the year. We had a strong run game. And when you're good at something, sometimes it's hard to shy away from it. And then, they started airing it out. And then as you saw towards the end of the season, when we needed him the most, he was there. And so I'm excited to see, after one season of, under his belt, what does season 2 have to offer? And I'll tell you, he's been working. He's looking really good. He's confident. More confident than ever. So it's going to be a great year for number 9.
What's curious to me and really cool to see, honestly, is how you were behind Hassan Haskins and then started to get those carries and become the guy. And at the same time, you're raising up another in Donovan Edwards, who has been that dude, especially late in the season for you all. What's it like to have that kind of young, talented player in the same running back room as you?
Oh, man, it means a lot. It's hard doing it by yourself, right? And, Donovan, man, he's a great running back. I love having him in the room. his characteristics, his passion for the game is crazy. You know, we have a great relationship where we just push each other nonstop. You know, and so, you know, when he's in the game, you know, I'm rooting him on. When I'm in the game, he's rooting me on. It's never like, dang, like, he got more carries than me. We're not selfish. You know, we're very unselfish running backs, and that's hard to find sometimes. And I think that's what makes, you know, our running back group so special. And we have a great running back coach in Coach Hart. So, you know, it's great having, you know, running backs in the room that are ready just to step up. And that's what Donovan did last year. I'm excited to see what he would do this year, because it's going to be amazing. You know, I love having him, you know, right by my side and going to attack the game, each and every game with him.
You've mentioned Coach Hart being your running backs coach, and most folks know that Mike Hart is something of a Michigan legend. Yourself, there's Donovan Edwards, there's Hassan Haskins. I wonder, at a place like Michigan where the running back position is so storied, do you feel that the NFL is undervaluing your position?
I mean, I would say so. You know, I think running backs, you know, for the longest have been a big part of the game. And I definitely feel like they're undervaluing our position. And hopefully that changes. You know, but, you know, if it doesn't, you know, I'm still going to play. You know, I love the game a lot. You know, hopefully they just learn to appreciate the running backs a little more, because we do a lot for the game, man. And seeing that, like, you know, we're the lowest paid, you know, it strikes a nerve for sure. But, you know, I see the running backs in the league, they're having these meetings and things like that. So, you know, hopefully, you know, we can get it together and hopefully, you know, put a little more money in our pocket. But, you know, we shall see. But I definitely think we're undervalued.
It's interesting to hear that, because I'm the last generation of person, I believe, that grew up wanting to be a running back. Right now, folks want to play quarterback, they want to play wide receiver. I honestly am asking you, did you always want to grow up to be an NFL running back?
Yeah, I always wanted to be a running back. I've been playing running back since 6 years old, 5, 6 years old. You know, when I was playing for the Fauquier Rams. You know, so, you know, I've been playing running back since I was a youngster. That's what I trained at, you know, all my life, and that's what I still want to be. You know, now if I could go back, I might play safety or something. You know, but you know, I'm a running back through and through. I love playing our RB position, and I think RBs, you know, we mean a lot to the game. You know, so seeing what's happening right now is a little frustrating, but it is what it is at the end of the day.
Playing for Coach Harbaugh means that you're going to run the football. It also means you're going to have an outstanding offensive line. What's it like to run behind a Joe Moore award-winning offensive line?
I mean, it makes life easier for you, right? You know, when you know your guys up front are going to dominate, it makes what you see a lot easier, you know? And so, you know, shout out to the guys up front, man. You know, they mean a lot to me. They mean a lot to the quarterback. They mean a lot to the receivers. You know, all the skilled players, you know, our offensive line, they mean a lot to us because they do such a phenomenal job. You know, the offensive line and Coach Moore, you know, who coaching them, you know, they do a tremendous job. And back-to-back Joe Moores, you know, the first to ever do it. You know, it's amazing to see. You know, it's amazing to see the work that they put in this offseason. It's even better to see what they do in the field. So, you know, it feels great. You know, I love running behind my guys. I love, you know, trying to make them look good because they make me look good.
When it's cold, you got to be able to run football. It's hard to catch that thing when it's flying like an ice rock at you. But I'm also curious, thinking about Coach Moore, I'm an Oklahoma guy, right? I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I went to grad school at the University of Oklahoma. So Coach Moore means a lot to me. I wonder, has his demeanor changed a little bit since he's been elevated to that offensive coordinator position?
Nah, one thing about our coaches, and you know, they are who they are. You know, just because, you know, you might make a little more money doesn't mean you change. You know, just because you know, get a higher level job, you know, going from offensive line coach to offensive coordinator, like that didn't change him at all. You know, Coach Moore is Coach Moore. You know what you're gonna get from him. He's a great dude, great coach. I love playing for him. He's a great offensive coordinator. You know, he knows the game of football. He knows what he's talking about, and you know, I'm glad I'm in his offense. Just put it like that.
My last one for you, Blake, and I'm just curious. Did you get your Camaro back?
I didn't. They found it though. They found it. Well, I went down probably 3 months ago. It was at some abandoned house in Detroit. The police had found it. They were blowing me up. Hey, we found your Camaro. It was all ruined. But I tell you what, my Under Armour All-American helmet from high school was in it still. So I went down. They didn't take that. They took everything else, but my Under Armour All-American helmet was still in there. So I went down and grabbed it. It's at the crib now.
That's a prized possession for you, that Under Armour All-American helmet.
You know it. Yes, sir.
Man, I got to ask, what you driving now? What your four wheels look like?
So I got a truck. I bought my first car by myself. Like I said, my Camaro, my parents gifted me that. So I bought my first. I got a 2500 2023 diesel. Big old white, black rounds, blacked out windows truck, and then I have an NIL deal, and I have a Camaro.
Look at there, man. See, you as country as I am. I got the 1500 Ram outside. See, even from me and from the DMV.
Yes, sir. You know it. Yeah.
Michigan running back Blake Corum, thank you so much for joining us here on the #1 college football show.
I appreciate you.
I'm pleased to be joined by Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh. Coach, how are you doing?
Oh, doing really good. How's your day going so far?
It's going well now that I get to talk with you. I have a question for you, but I want to phrase it this way. If I told you that your team was going to finish #1 in rushing offense and #1 in rushing defense, would you describe that as a Jim Harbaugh coach team?
Yeah, that would be a beautiful thing.
Well, that's what happened last year, and it feels like you have the tools to do that once again. And the way that I want to get at that is your offensive line. So I got to ask you, Coach, how do you build a Joe Moore award-winning offensive line?
Well, I think it starts with really talented players who are give great effort, and also really great coach. Sharon Moore does an incredible job. So that Joe Moore Offensive Line Award is one that our guys really treasure. But as they say, I mean, it doesn't matter that they won it last year or the year before. All that matters is that they're doing it again, and this year is all that matters. So when they go into it with that kind of resolve, that kind of drive, that kind of mindset, I sure wouldn't bet against them.
Were you at all surprised that Blake Corum decided to return to your football team in 2023?
Happily, yes. The way he explained it to me was, he really wanted to be at his best. He had this plan that, get the surgery, rehab, and he knew it was going to take 7 months or so, 8 months to get back to his self. Where it stands now, he's stronger, faster, quicker than he was before the injury. And he also wants to, when it is time to turn professional, to be able to have that lead up to the combine. He pictures all that, he visualizes it, going to the combine and competing with the best, to be the best. And then being drafted and going to a professional team. It's just something that he visualizes, trains for, and he's got himself in a great position right now. And for our team, tremendous, puts us in a tremendous position as well.
Given the legacy of the offensive line at Michigan, and in particular the running back position at Michigan, are you at all worried that his position, Blake Corum's position, is being undervalued in the NFL?
I don't know. I don't worry about that. It's not undervalued in Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's not undervalued in the Michigan football program.
And neither is your quarterback play, quite honestly, because you allowed a quarterback derby to proceed into the regular season, which many people would call unconventional. You eventually settled on J.J. McCarthy, a guy that I know you believe in and demonstrated as much last year. But Were you at all surprised about how he was able to answer the call, particularly in big games that you had to win to earn that Big Ten championship game?
I was really impressed. I wouldn't call it surprise as much as just really impressive first-year starting quarterback to accomplish what he did. I can't recall another first-year college quarterback having that kind of success that J.J. McCarthy had. He's in a great place right now, and I look at him as a generational type of quarterback at Michigan. They come along once a generation, and here he is, and can't wait to watch him compete this year. So all the attributes I could really talk a lot about. If you'd like me to, I can. He's talent is athletic, arm talent, top of the charts, and his willingness to do anything for his teammates is the thing that I think makes him great, because there's nobody on the team that wouldn't do anything for him, and it's a leadership by example. Always having fun at play, and I can't wait to watch it unfold.
Outside of national champion Georgia, you have put together the best 2-year run of any team in college football, 25-3 over these last 2 years. How close do you think your program is to winning its first national championship this century?
So, I mean, you put yourself in position to be in position. College football, 14 playoff, you can't lose 2. 1 is the most you can lose, so you gotta put yourself in position. And once you're in position, then executing, winning that game, getting to the championship game, that's the goal. Our team is setting out, like it does every year, right now, to win the Big Ten championship. We want to beat Ohio State. We want to beat Michigan State, Penn State. Now we got so many rivals in the Big Ten, but really win that championship, put ourselves in position like we have the last 2 years, and then go win that semifinal game and get ourselves in position to play for the national championship. That's our goal.
In the offseason, Coach, we spent a lot of time talking about just how teams are put together, what the rosters look like, 5 stars, 4 stars. That's what people in my profession do. And one of the things that strikes me is that you can do that without teams that we don't think have enough 4 or 5 star players on it. And I got to ask, Coach, how are you getting the most out of each and every one of your players, especially over the last 2 years?
Oh, thanks. I mean, great coaches, really. And I take myself out of that equation for a sec. The staff we have is incredible. Then our strength coach and that entire strength coach, Ben Herbert, and all the guys, center of player development's in our weight room, and what our assistant coaches do with our players on the field, and then the guys with the Heisman habits, the Aiden Hutchinsons, Blake Corums, Chris Jenkins, Mike Samersell, make it really a walk in the park for me as a coach, because I just tell the younger guys, hey, look at Blake, watch him, evaluate him, and then emulate him, copy him, and then see if you can go make him proud of you. And not just Blake, but Chris and Mike, JJ, Zinter and Keegs, Jalen Harrell, Rod Moore, Bakari Page. I go on and on. Will Johnson, all these guys. There's so many people that are young players. Especially the freshmen coming in, because now it's a whole new group of guys that are taking that step. But they have those guys to watch, emulate, and see if they can go make proud of them.
Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh, thank you so much for taking time to join us here on the #1 college football show.
Appreciate it. Congratulations on being the #1 college football show.
I appreciate you, Coach. That made my day. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.